Hey everyone, welcome to the Front Row Back Row podcast. Brian and I have each grown physical therapy businesses to 2 million plus in annual revenue. We're looking to get good advice to PTs trying to grow their practices. Enjoy. Hello and welcome to the Front Row Back Row podcast. My name is Dr. Owen Campbell, and with me, as always, is Dr. Brian Wolf. And today we are going to be talking about getting an offer out there, probably on Meta ads, but you could do this on Google too, that is discounted. So this is what we would call a lead magnet. So we'll be talking a lot about how you in your practice can use lead magnets to be able to get somebody into your office, interacting with you, showing how awesome you are as a physical therapist, healthcare provider, whatever it is, and then hopefully signing them up for a package or something that makes it so that that discounted freebie or however you want to do it, makes it so that that cost is nothing, right? If everybody signs up for a package, you're happy to take that. So what we are going to be doing is talking about how Brian has used some of these things in the past, what his thoughts are on it. And I know this came from my, a little kind of, I think I saw like 4 ads that all said the exact same thing for like 2 chiropractors and a PT. I was wondering, maybe this could work for me. So hopefully working on that where you're not just kind of following the crowd. So as always, we are Physio Growth. Physio Growth is a mentorship group where Brian and I talk. We have a Q&A every week. We offer a lot of modules and things like that for you to be able to help grow your business. Brian has grown his business from the back of his car to $2 million in annual revenue in over 5 clinics. And I was a regional director over 6 clinics doing $5 million in revenue before I decided to hang it all up and start mobile PT out of the back of my car about a year ago. And now I'm full-time in that business. So Brian, take it away, man. Tell me about how I should get butts in the seats with my mobile PT company.
Well, I think what we're talking about specifically here is our discounts good or bad, right? And I think that's the thing where, and I sent Owen, I go, I think the text you sent me was, should I discount my services online to show kind of where, like again, can't remember the exact text, but it was more along the line of
what I wanted to know was, should I say in like a Facebook ad or whatever and say, $30 initial evaluation at your home, or there's a gym that I work out of that I do a revenue split with, physical therapist for 1 hour, $30, right? Just kind of oh my God, I can't say no to this level of offer because typically it's $175 an hour, right? And then with the hope of I would eat basically that visit, but I would then be able to have somebody who understands the service a lot better. If they have an issue, then I can legitimately say to them, look, you should buy a 10-pack of packages, which is, about $1,600 for me. So you kind of take a discount on it, but then you get the business in the door. So that's what I was asking is, should I do, $30? Should it be free? And I'm mobile, so there's issues with that.
To me, this model doesn't really work well. It's not that it doesn't work. So I also want to say this to people, like, do we do things that have certain discounts? Do we ever discount prices? Like, yeah, I mean, of course we do, but it's not in that model. What I'm going to walk through kind of what I would talk to Owen about. So here's the other part. Like, can I take a discount? Like because we have more revenue coming through the door. So like if I take a discount here and there to get certain clients, like it's not a big deal, but what I told Owen that's even better is the free consultation up front if you're going to do that kind of stuff. Because if I'm saying something free, there's an old John Taffer line that I shared with Owen from Bar Rescue. That's like, if you give somebody the idea, he does it. And I try to show, I couldn't find the video, but the video he talks about how if you, in the restaurant business, if you get somebody to come back 3 times to the restaurant, they statistically speaking, they have an 80-something% likelihood to become a regular customer for your restaurant. Yeah. And so one of the things that he'll do within his restaurants is, hey, is this your first time being here? Someone's like, yeah, it's my first time being here. They're like, oh, cool. And what they do is they put specific like napkins down on the table to indicate to all the waiters that that's like their first time being there. And so when they walk up to that person, they'll say like, all right, like, we see it's your first time here. You get a complimentary appetizer. So like, it's like either the waiter does it or the business owner. I can't remember, but it's like, it's their specific steps they have. It's pretty cool what they do. So basically they go over and they say, here's a free appetizer, or right for that experience, to make sure it's a really good dining experience. How is the food? Oh, it's awesome. And they say, hey, here's the back on the back of the card. They go, the next time you come in, you like chicken? Yeah. The next time you come in, you got to try my chicken. Here's a free chicken dinner, right, on me.
Huh.
And be like, oh, that's amazing. So he hands it to them. Now they come in the second time. The second time they come in, they hand that thing over and they go, hey, we got this free thing for the chicken. No problem. Now they do is they take specific napkins, they put them on the ground on the floor there too to understand, or on the table to understand it's their second time coming in. So second time they come in, they go, okay, no, we know this is their second time coming in. So they get the chicken. All right, they make sure that the food's really good. How was the service? How was the food? Oh, it was amazing. Cool. The next time you come in, the next time you get, did you try any dessert the last 2 times? No. Cool. The next time you come in, I want you to try a dessert. You got to try this like cake. It's amazing. So the next time you come in, here's another thing. And so now they come in the third time, boom, they got them. So like that's how they move it. So the answer I said to Owen is think about that concept is most people don't get addicted to free because they understand that there's something on the back end generally that's going to be, so there's going to be some sort of sale at the end of it, right? Now, I will say, I think that people are becoming more and more aware of this. So I think it's becoming harder and harder to go from free to the upsell. I think in general, that's just the tougher thing because think about the barriers lower in the free. But if you think about what John Tavros is talking about, if you know statistically that if you help someone a couple times, they'll actually be better, or like you help them one time in physical therapy, allow the discovery visit or the free visit, that's something you can upsell them into PT. Now, that being said, what I do think is actually a better advertisement on a quote unquote discount is like what you see for fitness on the 6-week challenge, right? Or something I'm tinkering with is an idea is like the 21-day get out of back pain, right? So what it would be is think about it, 2 to 3 times a week, you would see the patient, you basically were selling the package. Like we give a 21-day package discount for getting you out of knee pain, out of back pain, out of shoulder pain. So ideally, if it's the 175 for 6 visits, you'd say normally at X for 175. And then what you would say is here, we're going to do it for 150, 125. And it's like limited time. Get out of knee pain. And you got to get out of knee pain in 3 weeks with this package. That's how I would play the discount game if you're going to do that. So,
I love the guy who says maybe discounts, maybe not, and you take insurance. The biggest discount.
Well, no. All right, so let's back up there real quick. Let's back up there. So the answer
I had to throw that. I had to throw that.
So, well, here's the thing, right? So here's the thing on physical therapy. Your point about the biggest discount on insurance, I would disagree, right? Because think about it. I pay for my family of 4 like $2,600 a month for health insurance. Is that a discount? No. Yeah. What I want, it's actually cheaper to go see Owen. But the reality is like what I want to do with my kids and my family is I want to use those resources that I spent money on. And so physical therapy is one of them. That's why people win. It's a different bucket. Like we actually talking about supplements and, insurance versus cash-based PT is very similar to like the supplement industry and fitness. The supplement industry is a $6 billion industry. The fitness business is a $4 billion industry. They're 2 different wallets. So the cash-based PT is the same wallet as the massage, the fitness wallet. It's the same wallet. But for me, I'm out of that wallet. I'm in the insurance wallet, which, your insurance will cover some of this. Boom. Like all of a sudden it's different. So it's not a discount. It's just different wallets. You got to think about that from that capacity. But for you guys who are in the insurance PT or not insurance PT, you got to think about this. Now for me, I'd say, hey, like the 21-day back pain, get out of back pain challenge. And they're like, well, do you take my insurance? By the way, the same concept occurs because if someone's got a high deductible, we still have to walk through that process. Right.
I agree. So this is where I say like it's interesting because I think you do really have to play with your market and play with like what you said, where it's like you don't want the eternal battle is basically, do I want to start my conversation of I am worth your money and your time with no, I'm not. Here's $30. Like here's that, but at the same time, like, people understand that, like you said, they don't expect free. They know that, they will eventually have to pay for this. And I mean, that's why, I think a year ago, I did like a free, golf program and nobody bought, right? Because they understood, right? Some of it was just, I didn't advertise it well enough and things like that. But like you said, they're kind of looking, okay, where's the kicker here? Like, what am I actually getting for free? So you have to be very delicate in like kind of how you do these things. And sometimes people might even say, don't even do it with ads, just tell your existing customers like, hey, send a friend and they get, $50 first treatment, or, I give you a reward, right? Something where it's like you take that first out of that first visit, you give some of it to somebody else for the referral. So there's a lot of creative ways you can do it. But man, I think like pretty much, I think it's like Clinical Marketer is the ad agency or the pay per click thing that's like bigger than everything. I swear, I know I can already pick out like the 6 people in town that use them.
Yeah.
Right? Because they are the exact same ad. It is like $65 or $69 to fix your shoulder pain. Come in and see me. Doctor will give you a full explanation of the results. It's like, well, of course you are, and like all these different things. So, it's one of those things where I think I see it everywhere. So I'm like, is it that there's like one company saying it's great, or it's because it's working for everybody?
Well, the question I would, so here's the thing I would say about agencies, right, in general, and like full disclosure, like for Physio Growth, like we'll run advertising for you, like that if you want to do that. That we have options for that stuff, right?
Yeah.
But the reality of it is it customized to what you're doing? The aspect of like that clinical marketer and what they're doing there is that they found an offer that works. So like to your point about does discounts work? Like, yeah, like maybe that works and they can get leads. So the idea, but what I'd say is from the leads perspective, do they turn into the $1,600 sale? My guess is not every single one of them. And so the reality is if you're like, hey, I'm making $69 to $70 on that visit, I would agree with some of the stuff we've talked about in the past, which is I would invest more in the Google ads and stuff along those lines and whatnot. The answer of when you're trying to do that is the $69 visits, the $29 to $39 or whatever, ultimately what ends up happening is you're competing in the sense of you're competing for a different customer. It's a low barrier offer than a high barrier offer. And so what you're trying to figure out is, okay, like, do I want to go that route and like, it's a different headache, or do I want to do advertisement in a different way that sounds different in that message? Everybody's peddling similar stuff, right? And physical therapy, I think, is a challenge from a perspective of, again, you're in the wallet with fitness and with physical therapy, but again, there's another wallet where like insurance won't cover a lot of like insurance won't cover a lot of like massage and fitness. So the reality is like that's the competition. Is if you're trying to do something cheaper, what you're going for at the $69 is, hey, like we charge a $70 copay for that bad person's insurance. All right, we'll go in and work with Owen, will be cheaper. Well, guess what? If you go to then say, hey, after this, it's $175 a visit, you're no longer cheaper. So the reality of the problem is you're going to run into some people like that. I think it's going to be a better idea to give away like free information, free discovery visits, or a discount on a package off the bat. Like I think it'd be better to raise your prices to $200 an hour and say for your first 6 sessions, it's 50% off. Yeah. That's going to be a better offer, because now what's going to happen is you're going to get $600 up front, but this person is now just giving you $600. So ultimately now, but you have to have a system to sell them into something else, right? Whether it's like for us, it could be a fitness package, it could be PT stuff, it could be all sorts of different things. So the reality is like that's how you'd want to structure it more. Is, well, how can I get some upfront money? How can I get some more upfront money in cash upfront, or what can I do from that perspective? By the way, I'm sure that's how Clinical Marketer, by the way, does their business model.
Well, and that's the key. And I think that the people who do that, right, either Clinical Marketer or someone else, where it's like, it doesn't work for me. Like you and I, especially because we run like a mentorship group, but like we've all heard Facebook ads don't work, or Google ads don't work, or, maybe you go with Clinical Marketer and all that. But a lot of that does come down to the third piece of that is once you get somebody in your ecosystem, you need to upsell. Right. And that's insurance, and that's cash. Right. So in cash, I'm not going to say, well, maybe you can have a session or two. Now, obviously, if it's like clinically appropriate that all they need is like a few sessions, fine, but that's very rare. The key to that strategy is, can I convince them that they need a package of visits? Right. Same thing with insurance. Can you convince them that like, oh, and afterwards you should do fitness because that's really good for your health, and we are great at that here. Come over to our fitness side. So, the sometimes with those packages doesn't really, yes, some things may get clicks a little bit faster than others, but the success rate is really going to come down to how well you can sell your services.
Yeah, agreed. And that's listen, what I'm actually recognizing more and more, we just did an episode on AI, right? What the offer, I'm recognizing more and more as I do this, when it comes down to the sales aspect of things, right? The offer is the key. The better the offer, the easier the sale,
Yep.
right? So yeah, $69 for a PT visit is a low barrier offer. So then, and like, I'm not trying to do shots fired here because I don't know a clinical marketer. I don't even know the company, but
Yeah, there's like 4 or 5 of them. Clinical marketer is just the one I think that I have
yeah.
like
So
more friends
so
doing, so it gets me ads.
yeah. So if you're doing advertising for your company, right, and they're charging $10,000, right? So say I'm like, here, I'm going to want $10,000. Ultimately, you're going to also spend money on the advertising. Well, if you're getting a $69 eval, it's going to take you a lot of money to make that money back. And the aspect of it's very easy for me as the person running your marketing to say, well, you're probably just a bad salesperson if your conversion rate sucks.
Yep.
Right. And like,
Yeah.
that's the scummy part of some of this stuff. Hopefully they're not doing that. I don't know them. I don't know. Maybe
Yeah,
they
I've
are.
never used them, so I have no
Again,
idea. Yeah.
my experience with a lot of agencies in the past, and this is not, we've never used clinical marketers. So again, not
No.
trying to
I
talk
can
smack
tell
on
you
anybody.
local agencies though do
Yes,
that. Like
for sure.
some of the ones that
So
are around, that are
yeah,
like,
it's why
Phoenix,
it's
pay-per-click.com or whatever.
it's why we really, really advertise to people saying, hey, what you should do is actually learn how to advertise yourself because you can do different offers. You can test different stuff. Now, there's some ignorance tax you're going to pay because you're not paying them. You're trying to learn how to do this properly. But then you learn exactly the concept I'm talking about is how to be different, what works, what doesn't work, that kind of thing. But the
Yeah,
key
you'll
is they've
sell them.
clearly found an offer that brings in leads. The question is, what's the ROI of those leads?
Yeah.
Right. And what does that do? And I don't know the answer to that question. Most of the time, I find that it's a very difficult upsell, right? For most of those things. For
Yeah.
me, I found that in general, like, I think if it's an insurance based practice, I ran that, I would smoke every PT that's running those ads with them right now. Right. So that's the problem with the PT industry is the PT industry is split and not split, but there's insurance based PT and then there's cash based PT. And you've heard my rant on this several times is what ends up happening is we're dividing our services as groups, and what's happening is we're competing against one another for different patients. And so ultimately what's happening is we're forcing patients to make decisions for our services to pay for that stuff. But the reality is you create a really good insurance-based clinic that can grow really well. You can leverage these types of offers and marketing services really, really well and crush it.
Well, and that's it. I think a lot of the ones where all they do is just say we're 98% insurance and we're just going to go directly to doctors. They,
Yeah.
they wouldn't know how to run a meta ad if it's smack in
No.
the face, right?
And that's what we've been able to succeed a lot.
Yeah, and then you don't really get to change what it is. It's just what the doctor says you are. So then you get whatever you get. So and that again leads to frustrated PTs. But we could go down that road, but we're not going to.
Yeah. Well, and here's what I would say with physio growth, right? So I just talked about how a lot of these people, if you're listening to this podcast or seeing this, what we do with physio growth, we change that model, right? Me and Owen don't need this money. We have successful practices that are growing, right? So the reality is, like, could we charge 5,000, 7,000, 10,000, 20,000 for people to jump in this group and then get information from us? Totally. But that's not the goal of what we're trying to do. I'm trying to earn people's trust here. We're trying to get to a point where you guys are sticking around, talking, growing your businesses.
We're telling you the stuff they're gonna tell you.
Exactly.
The only difference you're paying for
no
is
sign up fee. It's $99 a month. That's all it is.
The only difference
no
you're paying for is
there's
for
no
them to
catch.
call you back every day.
There's no catch. Exactly. We're trying to change the game on that. So yeah. So anyway, that's the aspect. So again, for $99 a month, no initial sign up fee. There's nothing like that. Come check us out. Join us. You can learn more about what we're doing. Learn how we can help you. Learn how we can help you grow your business. Or again, for those physical therapists that are just trying to figure out side hustles where they can make more money, this is a great place to be. Again, a great place to be is for $1,200 a year, you could learn how to make $10,000 per year. No brainer. That's 10x on your return. So there's your return on investment if you join Physio Growth. Physio-growth.com.
Couldn't have said it better myself. All right,
Cool.
my friend. Have a good one.
Right. See ya.
Yep.